We get ready for the second half kickoff and continue in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Two teams that are trying to get back on track. And right now, New Mexico trying to pick up their first win of the year after a tough loss to open the season, losing to UTEP, and then the Arizona State game got away. Too many turnovers. Cole Gauchi has been in there every step of the way after missing the game 2 weeks ago against Arizona State due to a hamstring injury on the right side. Now, does he continue to play the entire game? Because, Jay, they also used Clayton Mitchell and Lamar Jordan in the last game.
Yeah, they sure do, and I can see them warming some of those guys up on the other side. When the coach talks about Clayton Mitchell's a better passer than Cole, and Lamar Jordan is kind of blended of the two. So, when you have a growing program, sometimes you have to work these young guys in because, like you mentioned, what happened, when one guy goes down, the next guy has to be ready to step in.
Mitchell started the last game and did not last long. The senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas. In fact, Bob Davies said maybe he yanked him too soon. Lamar Jordan played the bulk of the game. This young man that was originally Lamar Jordan headed to Arkansas before he committed and then decided he was going to stay closer to home. He's from Frisco, Texas, and play in New Mexico. And he was effective. 7 for 11 in passing last week, 130 yards 2 weeks ago, and a touchdown. And a winner in high school as well. So a guy that can also motor and run the option. Jordan had a 75-yard touchdown run called back in the Arizona State game.
Well, and you mentioned a key point because Cole, the hamstring problem, he's a big runner versus Lamar at 5'10", 183. He's going to have a little bit more quickness to him.
So let's see. We talked about Cole Gauchi, but let's see on the other side how Tyler Rogers bounces back. He's only a sophomore. Not a ton of experience, of course, but was strong in the first couple of games in the respect that he bounced back from mistakes. Will he bounce back from one interception in the red zone and the other interception just outside of the red zone?
Yeah, and he really needs to. When you look at his stats first half, 20 of 28. I mean, that's great completion percentage right there. But for one touchdown and 2 interceptions. So he has to be smart with the ball. He can rip it. He can zip it in there, but his decision-making at times, which we've seen, is suspect, and that's what's kind of hurting them on a couple of the drives.
So Jason Sanders, the Lobos will kick it away. He's been kicking low-line drives, hooks out of the end zone, as Morgan is going to go back deep once again for the Aggies, along with Marquette Washington, the reserve running back. So we're ready to go. Good to have you with us on ESPN. Sanders gets into it. Now a high one. Man, an opportunity for Teldrick Morgan from the goal line. Runs out of racing room on the boundary and only the 20-yard line. It's a good coverage. And that's where the Aggies are going to have it. So only once have they been able to start outside of their 25 tonight in this, their 6th possession. So the field position battle completely controlled in the first half by New Mexico. And once again, the kicking game, pinning of the boundary, it helped there.
And the special teams, you think about it, the fake field goal. So if one thing is for sure, right, Coach Davies made sure special teams-wise, because the kickoff returns have been well too. So
he'll bring Rose in the backfield on the first snap of the second half. And Rose will get it, looking for that alley over to the left side, and spins his way to 5. So they only had 66 yards rushing. You talked about the 189 through the air from Tyler Rogers. Just cleaning up the mistakes.
And I'm looking for tempo right now.
Rose pushed him inside. It's almost like he was committed going inside because there was a ton of real estate outside.
Exactly, and that's what I'm looking at. Tempo. You're coming out at the beginning of this second half. How are you performing? What are you looking to do?
2 to each side. And after they get set to make sure there's no substitutions defensively, now they'll take the play from the sideline. So big third down right away. 3rd and 4 deep in your own territory. They pick up the blitz. Man, Adam Shapiro with a flag down to the play. Has it. Good job of the offensive line. And it almost looked like they may have been offside trying to time the snap.
Well, I'm curious to see if that is a block.
Personal foul. Chop block. Number 55 of the offense.
Yeah.
Half distance to the goal.
It's a center. Izioki.
So what happened was, as he came in so quickly and was engaged, and he did jump a little bit, but because he jumped, when he got hit, he went down. And the rule is if an offensive lineman is engaged, one cannot hit you low. And so that's exactly what happened there.
Stand him up high, hit him low.
Yeah, but he did jump a little bit too. So that,
right. And he timed it like he was almost offside.
Right.
So huge mark off on what would have been a first down. And now a little bubble over to the left side. Morgan, can he get to the outside? He does. He's got the first down beyond the 40. What a play call.
That is something Coach Davey will not be happy about. Your defense pins them back for third and forever. You can't allow a simple screen to get that type of game.
Get him up to the line in a hurry. It's Rose again. Only about 3 that time. He went down at the 46, so 2nd and 7.
I'd like to see more tempo. I felt New Mexico State did much better when they were even moving even faster than what they're moving right now.
2nd down and 7.
Outside Bowen and nothing there. Joshua Bowen, the wide receiver. We've talked about the blocks, but they were outmanned that time.
Boatwright did an excellent job of getting off his receiver block. He did a little spin move, made it very easy for him to come in and make that tackle.
Out of another 3rd and long coming up. And this time, it's taking longer from the sideline. Ton of time, pocket protection, and wide of Bowen. Was he locked in on one receiver too long?
He was locked in on one receiver. He had a Shapiro coming across on the top side that he could have went to. And what I've noticed defensively, the side that the linebackers, because right there, Donnie White was out there on top of receiver. They're sending 2 linebackers to the side that they have 2 receivers. That's where you have to try to make the mismatch, but he tried to go to the corner on the sideline.
Chris Davis waiting for the punt. Man, good roll for the Aggies. It'll die at about the 5. So the Lobos with their deepest start for a drive yet. Just talked about their good field position. Now the Aggies now get a break special teams wise on a punt that went sideways. And we'll see what the Lobos can do. 95 yards in front of them on their first possession of the second half. Enjoying it. First possession of the second half for the Lobos. They get it back at their own 5. And do we have a change at quarterback now? Yes. In there is Clayton Mitchell, a senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Young man who started the last game when Gauci was hurt. He fumbled in the second series, and he never got back into the game. And that's why Bob Davies said maybe it was too quick a hook. But an interesting time to put him in the game. Back at your own 5. Gibson with a nice little jump cut at the line, and he loses it, but it looked like he was already down. Let's see. It's recovered by the Aggies. But was he down already after a 9-yard gain?
And he ran through that hole hard, like you need to. Watch these hits. It doesn't get touched. Looks like that ball did get ripped out before he was down. That's the hard part, being a small runner when you go in the middle. Those arms going at it. They pulled that ball out. I'm sure they're looking at it.
If the play stands, the Aggies are going to have it at about the 12-yard line of the Lobos.
And you know what's so interesting is they brought to our attention the last time New Mexico had an interception was when they played here last year. So the defense has gotten 2 interceptions tonight since then. One stopping a touchdown, the other one stopping a third down conversion. But you can see right here.
Is it out before the knees down?
There's the hit. He's still up. The ball is starting to come loose. That's where it gets ripped out. And then he goes down. But it's hard from that angle to see what we saw from the one before.
It was recovered by Beckwith.
But the point I was making is, although that one turnover that New Mexico State had stopped a potential touchdown, this is more crucial because it's a turnover in the red territory. So it's a short field, especially after New Mexico State came out and wasn't able to drive down and score on that first drive.
If it's not indisputable, its play stands. And that was really tough to tell.
That was definitely tough to tell. The side angle we saw, I thought, was the best angle. And from that point, the ball looked like it did get pulled out before his butt went down because he got spun around and he was going backwards as it came out. You watch it again from the side view. You're going to see, hits it hard and quick like you should, but watch as he gets spun. Right there, his butt's not down, he's not down. Ball starts to come out before he's down on the ground there.
Ooh, that knee, the left knee looked down.
After further review, ruling on the field stands. First down for Mexico State.
It's ripped away, but the knee may have been down already, but it was tough to tell, and the play was already called a fumble.
Right, exactly. So now they have short field. It's important. They must capitalize with a touchdown. We'll see if Bob Davies' defense can bow up and keep him out.
Rose joining Rogers in the backfield. And Rose slips. Doesn't get a thing on first down. Bowers made sure of it.
I'll give it to them. They're consistent. They're sticking with that run play. I still feel it works best once you get the defense moving. You have to get them moving. They're much bigger than you are, so if they have a chance to set and come off the ball, they've been able to stop that run.
It's Hall in the backfield. And now corner of the end zone wide open, and he misses him. That's been a problem. Joshua Bowen, he has at least 3 passes to wide open receivers that have not been close.
And that's the second time that Bowen was that wide open. All he had to do was put a touch on the ball. Now, granted, it was a corner route from the inside position, so it's a long throw. But Tyler Rogers has to put a little touch on this, a little air. And what he did, he's just a little too much zip on it.
Threw it out of bounds. So now, 3rd down and 10. Grab is made and lunging to Shapiro, but he's probably, let's hear where they put him down. He's going to be short by a yard at the 3. So, decision.
This is one of those things. Go fast pace and go for it if you're going to do it. Good zip throw in there. He did his best to get up there. But good timeout. If you're going to make this call,
Mexico
you need to
State
make sure.
It's called their first time out of the half.
Because bottom line is, I would do it one of 2 ways. If you were going to go, you need to go up there. You needed to go. You needed to do it. If you didn't do that,
this will be a 30-second timeout.
Make the right call. Get them in there. Get it lined up. Talk them up. Coach them up. That's what you got to do.
All right, so tell me, spread them out, quarterback draw?
I would go no huddle, quarterback draw, personally. That's the best way of doing it because that's going to force those linebackers to go out. If they don't go out, then you know you can just drop it to them real quick. Or even do the old Tim Tebow, run like you're going to do it, pull them up, jump, throw it to the guy.
Right.
But one way or another, I think you're more effective. Tyler can run with the ball, pull him out of the box, allow him to go get that extra yard.
Will it be points off a turnover? Because they are coming up to the line on a 4th and a yard. Xavier Hall, he's in the backfield. Trips on the near side, the short side. Hall, he's in. Touchdown, Aggies.
Good run. You're going to see Xavier Hall find that seam, put that foot down, and that was it. Got in. That's one of the easier run plays they've had tonight. New Mexico's front got a little bit confused. Hat on the hat. New Mexico State's offensive line blocked it well. We're back to a tie game.
They were loaded up on the near side. He angled it the opposite side.
Number 18, Max Johnson, on to attempt the extra point.
Johnson for the equalizer. And points off the turnover. And a tough one for the Lobos because easily it could have been called the other way with Gibson's knee down. But they said it squirted free before he was on the ground. And they capitalize in a big way. It is tied at 21, 4 minutes in to the third quarter. Rio Grande matchup, and New Mexico coughed it up, and it cost them 7. So the Aggies capitalized 4 minutes into the third. There's a guy who's given it away a couple of times tonight. It's been a tough one for him, Tyler Rogers, despite the fact he had an 18-yard touchdown run, as Wiggins and Gibson go back deep, waiting for the Alex Luthen kick. So a good one in Las Cruces. And a good kick. No momentum, but Wiggins will bring it out about 2 yards into the end zone. And out of bounds, he'll go shy of the 20. So for the second consecutive time, the Lobos are going to open deep in their own territory. And our star of the game, we can post it early, right there.
That surely is. And
execution.
Yeah, execution. And look at him. He's like, no, let's do it again.
Where's my treat in your pocket, buddy? I got a good nose for that stuff.
That's true. That's a well-trained dog right there.
That's great.
Well-trained dog.
It's at the 19, and it's going to be, once again, Clayton Mitchell, the senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas. He was in there for one snap, and the ball was coughed up by Gibson. It's Gongbe. And now let's see if the offense carries over to the defense, and I'm talking about a little energy for the Aggies defensively.
We talked earlier about how young both these teams are. This is setting up for the next few years of how this game could be. Both of them having such young players and not many seniors, the tone can be set by the game tonight, and I think that helps in the recruiting in state.
No question. As you mentioned, 36 freshmen for the Lobos, 31 sophomores, 30 juniors, just 13 seniors. And the quarterback, nice run over to the right side. Good wheels for the senior. And he's pushed out of bounds inside the 45 as Clayton Mitchell with a boost. He's the smaller of the quarterbacks. We talked about Gauchi at 6'4", 235. He's 6'1", 180.
Yeah, and it's hard for you to see right there. There was excellent blocking by the receivers on the outside, clearing the path. This has been the bread and butter of this offense. They are running the ball efficiently, especially outside the numbers. And I think that's because they've been so good at pounding inside. So
out of a deep hole, starting at their own 19, 2 snaps later. It is 1st and 10 at the Aggies 40. And he wants to throw it on first down. Good strike. The man who cut the touchdown magnet on the option throw by the running back. The junior from Rio Rancho, the Albuquerque suburb. He's got another first down to the 25.
The DB just totally didn't break on that ball. He just sat there, Lewis Hill, and just left the receiver wide open. He could have challenged that just a little bit more. This isn't just pitch and catch.
Right.
I mean, you do have to get up there a little bit.
Put it at the 26 on a first down. Gongbe blasted straight up the gut. Hard runner. He's got it to the 21. Gain of about 5, maybe almost 6.
That's what I've noticed in the second half so far. Towards the end of the first half, more so now, in the beginning of the first 2 drives, you're seeing they're getting more off that hit right up the middle. That sets everything else up. So if New Mexico State doesn't slow that down, doesn't stop it, it makes it very tough for any of the other plays to be stopped.
See if they keep it on the ground on second, a little less than 5. And wide side option. Quarterback will keep it. First down. Down to the 15. So Clayton Mitchum gets about 6-7 yards. And he gets up like he took a pop.
Yeah, and you can see they're setting up basically the quarterback is having the backs act as blockers in front of him. You can see right there, got hit a little low. You can see even though with the thigh pad on there, that doesn't protect the hip and everything else. You can see right there that he got caught pretty good.
So that means Lamar Jordan, because Gauchi's over there with the headphones on. It's going to be Lamar Jordan, redshirt freshman, Frisco, Texas. The young man we were talking about originally committed to Arkansas. Now a Lobo. And with big cushion on the outside, good close that time. That was a Darian Jones with a corner on that side.
Good tackle. You see he's trying to shake that off right there, walking a little bit. You know, these guys aren't very big. You know, he's 6 feet, 180 pounds. You get a couple of helmets in the right spot, that can slow you up, especially when you're a speed guy. Because Cole is a bruiser. He's used to that kind of contact.
Call it second. Little less than 9. Go back to the wide side of the field. Different quarterback, of course, trying to make a miss and out of bounds at the 10. Lamar Jordan.
And we see the pattern right now. Even though they've thrown a couple times, the quarterback coming in is basically an extra runner.
Right.
Watch again, they have both running backs. There's no pitch coming. This is literally, we're going to block and you're just going to run. And so it's going to be on the defense to make sure they get off of the blocks to try to make a tackle.
Well, it's like the two teams you've already brought up, Navy and Georgia Tech. And their quarterbacks are running back. It'll be 3rd, 6 to go. Still get a first down inside the 4. Then Anaya will be denied at the 6. So a decision, but you would think the kicking game sometime tonight is going to come into play.
Yes, and this is a situation, personally, I would kick it. Your defense has shown enough to say that they've been able to hold up. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it. But me personally, I would take the 3. This is just a little bit outside the range. Now, though, saying that, it's a good opportunity to go for a nice fake. Make them think you're going down that pipe and to see if you can suck that defense up, pop it over the top.
Lamar Jordan has Gibson in the backfield along with Gongbe. Needs 2 on 4th down. Man, flags on the play. Delay a game. It was one of the few times it took a long time to puddle.
Snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And that's on the coaches, because the coaches took too long to decide what they wanted to do, and in doing so, it ate up the clock. Now it forces that you have to kick. These are things that players kind of get frustrated because the coach should know. If we're going to go for it, you should already have that in your mind. We're going for it. This is the play we're going to do, so that you can get out there and fire it off.
So a short one coming up for Zach Rogers. It'll be a 28-yard attempt. Missed a 40-yarder on their second series of the game. And then, of course, they had the fake on the placement. Man, McCown, the holder, went for a touchdown to break the tie from 28. And he's got it. So a 28-yard field goal for Zach Rogers after a long drive for the Lobos Stalls, starting back at their own 19. But New Mexico on top by 3. Ground game of New Mexico has them on top once again. As we welcome you back to Las Cruces. Just about 10 yards of crack. Right at 33 carries, 332 yards so far. And New Mexico came in over the first 2. And we mentioned it at the top of the telecast, Jay. They haven't had problems moving the ball. They've had problems stopping the opposition.
Exactly. And I think that's what's kind of crucial with this drive. Can they hold New Mexico State like they did the one time? And hopefully the offense doesn't turn the ball over.
Sanders right through the end zone. So now, okay. Counter. Just went up by 3. Let's see what New Mexico State does. And Tyler Rogers back at quarterback. Rogers, if you joined us a little bit late, a couple of picks, one in the red zone, one right outside of the red zone in the first half. But overall, he's orchestrated the offense efficiently. 23 of 33 for 228 yards. He's run for a touchdown, and he's thrown for a score. The one thing, though, is he's missed some open men.
That's what I'm saying. He's left some stuff on the table. You know, like growing up, you say clean your plate. He didn't clean the plate. He kind of left some stuff on there, and he needs to clean that up as the game progresses.
On first down, it's Xavier Hall. Kid from right here in Las Cruces, a sophomore, saw plenty of snaps last year as a true freshman. Gets 9 on first down. So for the most part in the first half, it was exclusively Larry Rose. And they're changing things up. Before that, it was 25 carries for only 78 yards on the ground. Before that, pickup of 9. And that's for the aggregate. And now Hall, indecision will cost you every time.
Every time. You have to hit your foot down. It wasn't there. He should have just cut back into the line and took whatever was there to give him. I'll give him kudos for not going farther back. It's 3rd and short. But, you know, that is something. I mean, every time. When you see it, hit, find the guard, get right behind his butt.
Spread it out with 3 on the wide side of the field. Only need a yard, and Hall will get it going low. He's got it right across the 35.
Now, see, here's where I'd like to see them get right back on the line and pick up that tempo and get moving is what I'd like to see, because when I see defenders with hands on the hips, that means you're a little bit exhausted.
They bunch 3 on the wide side. We haven't seen that much. Shapiro's got it, got the block he wanted, and he's also got right at the marker. They'll give him a first down across the 45. When we've seen that screen for the wideout, it's usually 3 across, not 3 smacked together.
Right, and they're just doing it a different way, which I like the call. Now, that forces the defense to have to adjust, but you can see, just get it out there, hat on the hat, block, and then look at it, put the ball away and drive.
Big time, Betancourt into the secondary, breaks another tackle, needs a block. He'll get that from the wide receiver and a block in the back. And that's a really strange call when the defensive back turns his back on the man as he's about to apply the hit. So it's going to come back on a really nice block by Joseph Matthews.
Yes, and that's the shame of it. It'll come back from the spot of where it is, but you hit the nail on the head. What are you to do when the defender turns on you like that? But look at it. Put the foot down, Betancourt, and just get going. Good spin move right there.
The run, block in the back. Offense, number 5. 10-yard penalty.
Right to tell them right there.
First down.
Well,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the block by Matthews, but a smart play by the man in the secondary, because he sold it to the official who bought it.
Oh, yeah. He must have been watching soccer this morning like I was, because that's exactly what that looked like. And it, like I said, it's a shame when it happens that way. Takes the score off the board. But now, if I'm New Mexico State, I'm to the line, I'm snapping the ball, I'm picking up the pace and tempo. I'm forcing the issue. The momentum is going your way right now.
Empty backfield. They've got now Hall coming in. Start into the slot. It's out to Morgan. Morgan gets one little chip and a good block, that time by Joshua Bowen, to give him close to another first down. He's short by about a half a yard outside of the 22.
And here's the thing. Usually when you play against a passing set in the NFL, you bring extra corners on the field to cover those receivers. New Mexico's been using their linebackers, Trayvon Roy and Kimmy Carson and these guys. So the receivers, that's why I keep saying the mismatch is, and New Mexico State needs to take advantage of that, getting these guys in space to get around them.
Yeah, they're trying to match up right now. Morgan on the outside. They'll give it off. No, he'll keep it. And it goes down as Guthrie comes up with it. And is it a fumble? He slid down at the 20, the quarterback, Tyler Rogers. They're going to say he's down already. And he got the first down on second and about a half a yard.
That is like, oh my goodness.
Down prior to the ball coming loose. First down.
Look at Guthrie just come through. He's going to slide, which in and of itself is a little bit nervous, but you shouldn't go face forward if you're going to do that.
Xavier Hall engulfed after a gain of about 3. Diavazano, the sophomore from Baltimore, on the stop.
Yep. When you're on the outside slide, if you're inside the tackles, you got to go face first.
Hall again. What a jump cut. He's in. Touchdown Aggies. Hard to like breaks like that. Man.
Watch this move. As he gets there, stop cut, hits his foot hard and straight north and south. Just enough to get in there. Xavier Hall, 5'8", 182, hides behind that line. What a score to go ahead.
Young man from right here in Las Cruces. First team All-State at Las Cruces High School a couple of years ago. And he's got 2 touchdowns in the second half alone. Johnson for the point after. And the largest lead of the night for New Mexico State by 4. So Xavier Hall, and we talked about it, the difference in the running backs. Brandon Betancourt was phenomenal the way he set him up. And he could have easily had a touchdown run of his own, a long one.
And that's the thing about it. It's running back by committee, but each one has a different caveat they bring to the game. And you just said with Betancourt, bigger guy, 5'9", 190, speed to get out there. Then you bring in a smaller back, Xavier Hall. And then we haven't really mentioned Larry Rose much, but same type of guy. He's 5'11", 180. So you got these speed guys, small guy. But I think what's crucial and important is they didn't let the penalty keep them down. They got back to the line, proceeded to put some plays together, and get into the end zone.
That was a 9-play, 75-yard drive. The last 17 belonging to that young man. What a burner. 5-yard average on 48 carries as a true freshman, so he got reps last year.
These teams are both young, and this is only going to make this rivalry better because they all got something to prove, especially since they're all from the state.
Right. Luthen into the win. Van Wiggins from the 5. Designed to the right side and a good return. Wiggins and comes up Gimpy. Something happened there. But the wide receiver for the Lobos, Carlos Wiggins.
He's grabbing at that hamstring. That's not good. He's not good. Special teams have been a plus for New Mexico. But you can see right here, as soon as he gets outside, he wants to hit another gear. And it's like, oh, no. And he gimps on up. Pulling and stretching a hamstring is one of the most painful things you can do outside of staph and Achilles.
I was going to say, the cannon that explodes that you hear and nobody else does on an Achilles. But, boy, does he put him in great field position. After starting to their own 5 of their own 19, their first 2 series of the second half. Now at the 34. Man, Mitchum wants to put it out to Gibson. Too good a pass?
Just a little high, but that's still catchable.
Right.
Gibson should have caught that. And what I like, Mitchum went through his read. He wanted the tight end coming up the seam. He wasn't there. Looked at the outside, the receiver wasn't there. The defense gives you the flare route. You throw the flare route. Gibson needed to come up with that catch.
Is this team losing early in the second half their personality, though?
Yeah, I don't know if they're losing personality. Running is what got you here. You need to still stick with that and then go with play action, in my opinion.
Mitchum, wide side, and takes a shot as he spins forward to the 43. Good run, got 9.
And that was a win for the offense, but yet the defense still did the correct job. When you watch them, everybody stayed true to their assignment. Nobody tried to come off. The running back was taken, and so right there at the last second, corner comes in for the tackle.
So only a yard. That's all they need is a yard. Gongbei's in there. The guy that's shown some power up the gut. Man, Gongbei's got it. First down across the 45, out to the 46.
And Dungbei was headed. He had his head down, and he was running. He was getting that yard without question. New Mexico State hasn't blitzed a whole lot. This would be, in my opinion, the ideal time, especially when you got a quarterback in that is a better passer, but he's still getting to the groove of the game. Your defense has done well. I would dial up a blitz right now.
Jarrell Presley in the backfield with Gongbei. On a first down outside of the 46. False start.
False start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Left guard Mahina. So how does Bob Davies' squad respond to trailing for the first time in the game?
I would keep running the ball like they've been doing. Using that dive play to set up everything else. You use the quarterback as a running back in a couple situations that moves you down the field. I would continue to do that and then come back with a halfback pass. It worked before, should work again.
They've been outscored 14-3 here in the third quarter. Mitchum, nothing doing. Boy, they took away the pitch man completely. You talked about assignments. Jaden Wright did a good job of the pitch man.
He sure did. And Derek Ikuebe, I know I messed his name up there, but he did a good job. He had the quarterback. He stayed with the quarterback. Watch how this breaks down. Look at the assignment. Running back's taken. I have quarterback. I stay square. I don't go for the fake. I make the tackle for a loss. That's picture-perfect defense against the option.
Yeah, that's a true freshman, Derek Ibekwe from Rosenberg, Texas. So now second and a little bit longer. On the out, diving. Did he hold on? No. Couldn't come up with it. He was trying to get it to Marquise Bundy.
And you're seeing why he is a better thrower. Steps in, puts the ball there. Receiver just couldn't hold on to it. I go back to the corners, though. Right there, that was Winston Rose. They're giving him too much of a cushion. They've shown they haven't really gotten on top of him. But Diaplete gets them like they're Usain Bolt or something, like they're just going to go by him. They got to challenge them a little bit more, in my opinion.
It's 3rd and 17. No Bolt out here tonight. Mitchum, good pocket protection underneath Gibson. Denied. Man, the guy we were just talking about, Jaden Wright, the freshman from Louisville, Texas.
Good wrap-up tackle. Coming in, giving them the short stuff, and then making the tackle. Letting the big motor be your side. Puts it in a good spot, but there's nowhere for him to go. Both these teams, outside of a couple plays, have done an excellent job in wrapping up and tackling open field.
Morgan back for the punt. Zach Rogers handles both duties, and that is a beauty. Morgan is going to take it. What a mistake. Cost him big time. Back at the 5. Once you're inside the 10, I don't have to tell you.
You have no business touching that ball. He shouldn't have went backwards. You put your heels on the 10-foot line, and you don't move. If anything,
that is the end of the third quarter. Timeout.
You psych him out, you run up, but you don't do what you just did.
Well, the story, turnover, Hall capitalized with a touchdown, got another one. 14-3 third quarter, a plus 11 for the Aggies, and through 3, they lead by 4. The fourth quarter in Las Cruces, and you're not allowed back in unless you know how to wobble.
That excludes you and me.
Well, I gave it up years ago. It's not a part.
I'd snap, crackle, and pop if I tried to do all of that.
They're having fun, though, both the Lobos fans and the Aggie fans. And welcome back to the final 15 minutes of regulation in the Rio Grande battle. So the Aggies have taken 3 straight, and then the Lobos bounce back. They've taken the previous 2. And now the Aggies trying to get into the win column. Hall buried. So all of a sudden, in only a 4-point game, your best wide receiver decides he's going to cover a punt and take it at the 5.
And that's just a mental mistake. When you have young players, they need to understand the situation.
And boy, it's a gamble when you put it up in the air back here. It's Hall again, and he's into the secondary. First down in breathing room. And let's see if they give it across the 16. It looked like he was. And will they move the chains? Yes.
I wonder if something's up with Larry Rose. We haven't seen him much since the beginning of the game.
But is it committee, as you brought up earlier,
exactly,
kind of similar to the quarterback situation now for the Lobos?
Exactly. So Benecourt's in there now. I would just keep going on this pace. Keep it going.
Because we have not seen Cole Gauchi in the second half. And they give it to Betancourt. would come in motion to set up in the backfield.
Now watch what just happened. Tyler Rogers just did the fake and got outside. There was nobody out there with him when he did that. They keep this up. Don't be surprised they come back to that, and he keeps the ball and goes run outside.
And they go in a hurry this time, but it doesn't work for Adam Shapiro. Belted and loses a couple of yards back inside the 19.
Joshua Bowen didn't get the block on Boatwright, and Boatwright got around and made the play. The bubble screens have worked because the receivers have blocked so well, but they snuffed that out.
So a huge one for the Lobos, trailing by 4. Look at great field position. They get a stop here. They shift Bowen. Empty backfield. A ton of time. And now thinks about throwing it late, and then it kind of squirted out of his hand.
Sure did. I'm curious if they're going to get him on intentional grounding because he wasn't outside of the pocket. And I didn't see a receiver that close to where he threw the ball.
Man, is it going to be a flag on the play? You said he wasn't outside.
Quarterback was out of the pocket.
They say
the
outside
ball
the tackle box.
got beyond the line of scrimmage. No intentional grounding.
Okay, that wasn't
Fourth
sure
down.
because as he scrambled, they were still there, but so they're safe on that. Not a good series right there. Started with that bad punt return by taking the ball inside the 5, and it just downhill from that point.
Chris Davis is going to wait. This is a huge sequence now coming up for the Lobos. Witkowski, young man from Australia. Wobbles one out, real returnable type. Man, it's going to be Davis at the 40. And he's grabbed from behind by the wide receiver. It's Matthews on his back. But great field position for New Mexico. So the Lobos trailing for the first time in the contest. Only down by 4. 2 minutes into the 4th, getting back close to the midfield strike. Lobos and Bob Davie get it back outside of their own 45, and he's gone to his redshirt freshman, Lamar Jordan, at quarterback. He'll run the option. Wide side with the tight end out in front, but Dalton Harrington, the weak side backer, who got to that a lot faster than anybody. It looked like it was going to be a huge game.
Yeah, smart play by Harrington. He took away the pitch guy, forced him to tuck it and run, and then came back down the lane to make that tackle for a 5-yard gain. But that's a plus because that easily could have been a 15, 20-yard gain.
Well, it almost appears from the little we've seen of Jordan that he might be the better runner of the 3. Mitchum, the better thrower. And Gauci, maybe the most complete at running the option. They only need 5. Then coming up out of the secondary. A good play to shut him down. Kaveh Johnson, the free safety.
Yep. Part of stopping the option, too, is the push you get from your defensive front. If they're able to establish a yard into the offense, that helps blow it up. If they push back on you, it's easier for those guys coming around the edge.
So New Mexico State, so many more opportunities on 3rd down on a couple of long drives. 4 of 9 thus far. Man, a timeout on a big 3rd and 2 as New Mexico uses their first of the second half.
And this is a crucial play. You know, time's ticking. You got the opportunity. You've done well using the short side of the field. So it's important to make sure you call the right play.
We'll come right back and see what they do. So a little more than 3 minutes gone in the 4th in a 4-point game. Very good matchup between the Aggies and the Lobos. And just the beginning. As Jay Taylor has mentioned, so many freshmen and sophomores playing for the respective squads. This rivalry is only going to get better. Now, welcome back to Las Cruces. It'll be 3rd and 2 out of the timeout. Lamar Jordan at quarterback. Man, it's Gongbei. He's got the first down, spinning down to the 40. So they went to the guy that has been their money guy in short yardage situations tonight.
Sure has, and he hits a hole hard, puts his head down, and drives. He's been getting at least 4 yards a pop when he does that. So good move. I think New Mexico State needs to dial up some blitz, and they got to bring some pressure towards the middle, kind of blow up that option before it can get started.
How tough is it to be a wide receiver on a team that runs the option?
you better be patient because you're not going to get the ball a whole lot.
I see Magnet come back into the game, and it's like, okay, decoy. Jordan gave it off. Man, they drill that time the running back, Jarrell Presley, who earlier in the game had a 47-yard touchdown run right up the middle.
Well, they brought the blitz that time. They loaded the box, shot a couple gaps, and that's kind of what you have to do to kind of set this run game back. Anytime in a running game, especially with the option, you get 5 yards, it makes it very tough on second and third.
It was a big-time play from Olua, young man who played at St. Louis High School in Honolulu, a great program there, and then played in 10 games last season as a true freshman. It'll be second, still 10. Option to the wide side. Good night. That's Harrington. Boy, he's going to show up on film a lot for the coaches.
Harrington is reading this option very well in his second half. That's the second time where he held his position. He had the pitch person. Watch him. He skates down just to force him to keep it, and then comes back and makes a great hit. That's what you want out of your outside linebacker. And he can move 6'2", 195, so he's almost like a strong safety playing down in the box.
Clock moves on a 3rd and 9 for the Lobos. Wide receiver screen. Magnet gets there. He's got the first down inside the 30. All he needed was that little chip, and he got it. Barely.
He barely got it. The DB came up, missed because he tried to wrap high. And you're talking about a 6', 190 receiver, so he's going to have some strength. Good play by Jarek Magnet there, getting that first down.
We saw that feature at halftime. He's a former walk-on, now on scholarship.
Right, you can see the miss there by Jaden Wright, and that's what set that up. He came up too close, bad angle. Kudos to Magnet.
Need a touchdown to regain the lead. Inside the 31st down. Jordan's got a nice alley over to the left side. He's got a first down inside the 20. And he's brought down after a gain of 13 at the 17.
So right now, the quarterback's responsibility is getting blocked. Whoever that is on the defense is not getting off. And so we're seeing that's why that big, long craze. It usually is the inside back, but you're going to see this motion right here. Cut at the end. Again, Harrington has the pitch. So whoever that inside guy is supposed to have the quarterback is not getting off his block and getting there.
That was Gibson, and Gibson certainly wasn't a decoy in the first half, was he? They'll give it to Gongbe into the secondary, into the end zone. Touchdown, New Mexico.
Number 2, Gongbe on the UNM touchdown run.
That was a misdirection. You can see Gongbe cuts back. Nice blocking by the front, creating that seam. Gongbe had a nice walk in the park there to get into the end zone.
Inside of 9 to play. Huge extra point coming up for Zach Rogers. Make it a 3-point lead. McCown on the hold. And he's got it. 31-28. What a game. 8:53 to play.
Think of this, into the half. We talked about why did they go for it? They could have kicked the field goal and Mike got it. You can see there at the tail end, Gongbe walked in nice and easy. But I go back to that. We wondered, why did you go for it when you should have took a chance at the field goal? That 3 points could mean this game is tied right now.
Absolutely. And that was the situation where it was 4th and 5, manageable field goal distance. Got a false start from the wide receiver if you joined us late for New Mexico State. And they still went for it on 4th and 10. And instead, it went from a 43-yard attempt. Then it would have been a 48-yard attempt.
And you got a kicker that, see what he's made of. It is right before the half. You got to take a shot.
Career best was 49 yards for Max Johnson last season. So an opportunity there. Once again, Morgan is back. That's who they want to touch. That's why they stack him back there with Jaden Wright. Or check that. It's going to be Marquette Washington, the running back. But they haven't had an opportunity anyway. This young man, Jason Sanders, putting him right out of the end zone. Not this time, though. Into the wind. Morgan's going to get the opportunity at the 6. To the boundary. Man, he ran right to the sideline.
He didn't even look for a hole. That didn't make any sense whatsoever. You got to give yourself a chance. Right now, the special teams battle has been won by New Mexico.
Aggies get it to their own 26. So you take away the turnover, and it was huge. Scraped it away from Gibson. They got a quick score on the Hall run. But the other 4 possessions for the Aggies have been at their own 20, 25, 6, and now the 26 in the second half. Long fields.
Let's see if they can pull another Georgia State situation. They're down.
It'll be Xavier Hall. Almost looked like it was in slow motion. He's dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Dakota Cox has been outstanding all game long. Mountain West All-Academic guy last year for the Lobos. Screen they've been using for the wide receiver, and good pursuit. Bowen did all he could as it's complete on that side. Man, the first catch of the night for the Aggies, Ralston Compton, freshman, first-year freshman from Rancho Cucamonga, California.
This is a crucial 3rd down. They have to keep this drive going. They need points.
Middle of the field, it's available. Morgan's got it. 1st and 10 inside the 45.
Excellent read by Tyler Rogers. Using the seam route. Morgan getting behind the linebackers, that mismatch I talked about, and now pick up the pace. Get moving.
He has thrown for better than 270 yards now. Betancourt was almost like he was looking, where'd everybody go? Well, they finally got him, but after a gain of about 6. Boy, a far cry from this game last year when it was 66-17. Lobos dominating.
Exactly. And I like the tempo. Get it going. Get it moving.
Bowen, and that's not fair. What a hit by Jaden Boatwright.
You know, that play has stopped working here towards the end. The corners are much more aggressive. I would love to see the setup, which is this. Do like you're going to do it. The receiver that's supposed to block releases up the field. That would be an easy touchdown right now because these corners are all over these bubble screens.
Need 5 for a first down. Bring Betancourt into the backfield. Man, it's going to be Betancourt, and he's got it. It may need a measurement, though. He is right. No, they're going to say, without a measurement, it's a first down.
Betancourt, he's getting it done, lowering his head between those tackles. You know, we're seeing just 2 quarterbacks, so Rose must be out. But him and Hall are doing a great job. And I think this would be a perfect time for that play I just said. Fake the bubble screen and have that inside receiver run straight up the seam for a touchdown.
Going to throw it over to Bowen. Man, got a good block from Matthews, but still, as you say, they have seen it. The reps have been there for this play so often tonight.
Exactly. It's time for their trickeration to happen, just like New Mexico did it to them.
Right, double move maybe.
Yeah.
It'll be second. A long 6. Hall's back there. And the quarterback, first time tonight, it's the second half he's carried it. Tyler Rogers showed that in the first half, but kind of kept it in check in the second half.
Yeah, we talked about that a few plays earlier. I said, look, watch out. He was wide open when that happened. Watch for him to hold on to that. That was a good play.
So finally they mix it up a little. It's a first down inside the 20. Hall, the little guy, makes him miss in the backfield with a jump cut. Gets about 4. They're already well within range for Maxwell Johnson to tie it up. This is the 10th play of the drive that started back at the 26th. A little more than 6 to play, so you don't. My point, don't gamble.
Don't gamble, but you need to keep pushing the envelope here. I would like this quarterback run right now. This would be a good situation. Spread him out.
Xavier Hall joins him in the backfield. Gets it, angles it up the middle, and he's going to be short of the first down. Now he lost it on his way down. He did fumble it. Are they going to say he's down already? Yes.
It's interesting.
This is a tough hit.
Tough hit. Tucks it in. Smooth move.
Oh, okay. He's down already.
He's down as he got.
Need a yard. Will they get it? Going low I believe so. Inside the 10, it was Hall, and it looks like it's going to be first and goal. We haven't seen a measurement tonight.
I know. And so right now, this is what New Mexico State needs to do. Get to the line, get ready to go. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving.
So trying to take the lead. A little more than 5 to play. It's behind and on the short side behind Teldrick Morgan. Obviously not listening to you.
No, because that play is not working. They need to fake it and take it up top. But now you've shrunken the field, so it makes it a little more difficult. We see why Bob Davie talked about being worried about the defense. We can see what happens. The tempo gets going. Watch out for a blitz. Seems like nobody's there. They might be bringing the house.
Man, give it to Betancourt. Nowhere to go. Have we seen any kind of cross, shadow cross, any kind of pattern like that tonight?
No, just earlier in the game we saw Adam Shapiro catch an in route, but that wasn't shallow. He went 10 yards down and came across. So now they put themselves in a tough situation, 3rd long, by those 2 plays. Got to protect it. Get your 3, but try to get you 6. Watch out for another blitz coming.
Extra man rushing. Corner of the end zone, jump ball, taken away. Bowen's got it. Touchdown Aggies.
Markel Bird, the redshirt freshman from New Mexico, against Joshua Bolton. You're going to see drops back. Tyler using his feet, buying time. Little jump throw.
Horrible, dangerous throw.
Dangerous throw because the defender was right in front of him. But that's just Bowen being a man and taking that ball away.
Absolutely right. Max Johnson in for the point after. How big is this to put it at 4, and he gets it. And that's why I said you can't gamble, because he's already thrown 2 picks, one of the 2 in the red zone, and that easily could have been another pick.
Exactly.
Dangerous throw by Tyler Rogers, but Joshua Bowen took it away for the D-back. So the junior from Albuquerque, Bowen, coming through in the clutch in a 4-point lead. It's our Capital One Impact performance of the night, Gongbei. What a run he has had all night long for the Lobos.
13 carries, 124 yards. He's averaging 9.5 yards a touch. That's a good average.
So Crusoe Gongbei, our Capital One performance of the night so far, the senior from Rockville, Maryland. Well, last one who has it wins it. That kind of game.
And it is that kind of game. This is a measuring stick for both young teams. Offensively, New Mexico's been moving that ball pretty much at will. New Mexico State's got a couple of ideal stops. They need the biggest stop of their young career right now.
You see the guy that's missing, Carlos Wiggins, not back. Instead, it's going to be the other wide receiver, Rich Jones, joining David Anaya. Will they get an opportunity to bring it back? Yes. On a low one. And a break. Smart play by Jones to let it go out of bounds. Couldn't do anything with it anyway.
Couldn't get, he couldn't pick it up because it was still skipping around. Just think of that hot ball coming in a shortstop.
Untouched by the kicking team. First down to the 35-yard line.
So it puts them in another situation. We've noticed New Mexico has been able to put points on the board when they have a short field. When they've had to go the distance, 80-plus, that's when they've struggled. So let's see what happens on this drive. Bob Davie is going to get his guys fired up right now.
Last drive, Gongbei finished it off with a 17-yard touchdown run after it was only a 54-yard field. They got it at the 46. Now they get it at the 35. And is it still going to be Lamar Jordan at quarterback?
That's interesting. And I think if it is, we're going to see a lot, or whoever it is, I think we're going to see a lot of the quarterback run. And its backs blocking ahead, because that's what's been effective for this team. Passing game hasn't really worked. They've had a couple of completions, but it's been all the run.
Well, we're watching the future of Lobo football then, because it is Lamar Jordan, redshirt freshman from Frisco, Texas. Gongbei gets 4 before he's gang tackled. Give him 5 right at the 40-yard line. Now 4.5 to play. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. And that's why I bring up whoever's got it last. So if you're in the situation, you're the Lobos, You need a touchdown. Field goal does you no good.
Right. But what's good for the Lobos, when you can get 5 yards on first down, it puts the defense in a tough position. So they're in a good position right now.
Presley stays in the backfield with Gongbe. Man, it'll be Presley. Well-timed pitch. And across the midfield stripe, he's got a first down to the 47 of the Aggies.
Dalton Harrington again. He tried to hold it up. He had the back. Whoever the inside responsibility is for the quarterback is not getting off their blocks, which means that the Lobos offensive line, which Coach Davey talked about, he had some concerns as well as too, is doing a good job of getting a hat on a hat.
Put it down to the 48. Anaya's back into the game. Run it wide side, and they get to the quarterback, jumping it perfectly that time. And what a play by Jay Eakins, another guy that's going to show up like Harrington on their film.
And he did in the first half. He made a few plays like that, and we hadn't said his name at all. The second half, that is the biggest play of the game to this point because it sets them back. They had momentum going. They're using their offensive linemen and their receivers to fire out and cut the defenders, and that's why the defenders that are supposed to be getting to the quarterback are having a hard time because these guys are firing out at their legs and cutting them.
So now loss of 6. On 2nd and 16, going the other way, it's Presley. And was he out of bounds? Yes. Forced out, but just barely by Ibekwe. So a huge third down. And when we say 2nd and 16, a lot of times, we use the word off schedule too often, but it applies with an option team more than ever.
Yes, it does. And you know this is 4-down territory. So they got enough to put them back in a good situation. All they need to get off of this one is 4 yards, 5 yards, put themselves in an opportunity to convert if they need to on 4th down.
Gibson joining Gongbe. Need to take it inside the 38. Short side, Jordan. Jordan turns the corner and real close to the marker. Where do they mark him out of bounds as the linesman comes up? It looks like he's got it. Inside the 38. Yes. So they move the chains again with 2:32 to play.
The one way you can fix this is you got to come up there and you got to blitz. You got to get to the offensive linemen before they can fire off and cut you. And I think that's what needs to happen right now. They're going to have to dial up some blitzes. Larry Coyer, the defensive coordinator in New Mexico State, is going to have to get kind of smart here in regards of a different way of getting after this quarterback.
He's not going to throw it. If he does, it's a shock. It's Jordan again. Man. Ibekwe on his back after maybe a yard.
And that's a good first down play for the defense to get that stop. You can see the exhaustion. Someone's down.
But as you said, as you said, and down at Winston Rose in the defensive backfield for the Aggies
for injury.
4-down territory because you're down 4.
Oh, yeah, you got to get the first down. Field goal's not going to do anything for you. You can't give the ball back to them. So it is 4-down territory.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:51, please.
They'll put 1:51 on the clock. It was rolling a little bit long.
Yep. And so this defense, people, I guarantee you, they're down there saying, get off your block. Shed your block, make the tackle. You know it's going to be a run play. And you see it right there, Coach Davies, like, hat on a hat. Let's keep doing this. If we can get 4 or 5 yards of pop, before you know it, we're going to be down in the end zone.
So it gives New Mexico an opportunity to go over to their staff. Talk it over on a 2nd and long.
Play clock. Please put 40 seconds on the play clock, please. 40 seconds on the play clock, please. Thank you.
So in a 4-point game, we're in the final 2 minutes. Not surprised. It's been that good all night long. Now the linesman comes over. The last thing we need is conferences.
That's so true. And what was so interesting on the play, too, was the slot receiver was left open. Jordan Wright playing that weak linebacker, scooted in, number 14.
Would you please set the game clock to 1:51 and 40 seconds on the play clock, please? 1:51 on the game clock. Thank you. It'll start on my signal.
That's interesting. So, yeah, so I was curious about that. I'm like, would he raise up and just throw the ball?
Well, you got Gamble down here uncovered. The slot man.
Exact same thing I saw earlier.
Jordan keeps it himself. He's going to be short of the first down, but manageable at the 30. They only need 2. Clock's moving, 95 seconds and counting left.
This offense right now is firing off on all cylinders.
Third down.
Linebackers, you know, Rodney Butler, we haven't called his name a whole lot. He's not getting off the blocks right now. This defensive front, you can see right there, 7-12. That's too high for both teams on defensively. Offensively, that's a good job.
Lamar Jordan gives it off to Gongbei. Easily gets it inside the 25, stopping the clock and the movement of the chains at the 23. When they need tough yardage between tackles, they're going to Gongbei. But the clock is going to start to roll. 2 timeouts left for the Lobos. This drive started back at the 35, a shorter field because of the kick going out of bounds.
He knows what this game's about. Played for the team last year.
And now they want to throw the ball. Jordan wide open. He's got Magnet. Pass interference call. Tough one. Will locate the football.
Lewis Hill had his eyes all in the backfield. As a DB, you know you can't do that. Gets beat on a play that could have been an easy interception.
It was underthrown.
29. Pass interference. Defense, number 29. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So these are the mental mistakes that young players make. Now, he's a junior, but you got to know better than that. You got to know if it's any type of pass, I'm the deep. I'm responsible for deep, not for what's short. And you're going to see simple play action, holds up, quarterback goes through his progressions. DB just gets beat because he's staring in the backfield. If he turns around and plays it correctly, interception, game over.
So here we go. First and goal at the 8. 37 seconds left. Presley and Gongbei with Jordan in the backfield. It's Gongbei. And they bury him at the 5. Lobos stop the clock with 32 seconds left. 1 timeout remaining. Boy, it almost seems impossible.
It's called their second timeout.
To stop this offense as good as it's been on the ground with only 5 yards in front of them.
Exactly. And so if I'm Larry Coyer, if I'm defensive coordinator for New Mexico State, I'm calling zero coverage. Zero coverage means no safety in the hole. Corners, you got those receivers on the outside. We are bringing the house. And that's exactly what New Mexico did to New Mexico State earlier in the game towards the end of that first half. So I'm bringing the house at them. I'm bringing the house every time. I'm telling the corners, you're on your own. We got to get a stop on this run game.
You saw the official telling Bob Davie 1 timeout left. That's it. Looking for his first win of the season, and it's 5 consecutive losses. If you go back to last year, their last 3 games they dropped.
Exactly. And this team, they can score with anybody, as we're seeing right now. New Mexico State, can they step up? Coach Davies trying to get his guys going. This is what it's all about. Rivalry game, recruiting rights, all right now.
32 seconds left on a 2nd and goal to the 5. Jordan looks to throw. In the end zone, got it, touchdown, Reese White.
Lamar Jordan had all kind of time. Pressure wasn't coming. Reese White, tight end, comes from the top side all the way across the field. Defenders lost where he was. Nice touch on the ball by Lamar Jordan. Now we see why Coach Davies says he has the best of both worlds. Good arm and good legs.
Rodgers for the point after, and a 3-point lead for the Lobos with 27 seconds left. I may be wrong, but I think it's the first time they've targeted a tight end all night long.
That was the first time that the tight end touched the ball. And that's only his second catch of the season. So tight ends don't get to touch the ball much. But that's one of those things that's a mental mistake on the defense. They let somebody cross the zone. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to carry him across. They didn't do that. Kudos to Jordan doing the right thing, buying time, and sinking that ball in.
So 27 seconds left in a 3-point game. 2 timeouts up there for New Mexico State.
And think about it. It started again by the kicking game. The special teams, New Mexico has won the special teams battle all day long by that kick going out of bounds. Instead of them starting back inside the 20, starting on the 35, having a short field, made a big difference.
The last 3 possessions for the Lobos have started at their own 35. The scoring drive we just saw, the 46, and their own 34. They have won the field position battle all night long. Morgan over to the far side. But will either one be able to touch it? And Morgan will stay in the end zone. So the Aggies will have it at their own 25. They only need 3. And we saw the middle of the field available a couple of times tonight for long throws.
And this is the point. You go no back. You stretch it out. You try to take advantage of the middle of the field, because these linebackers are not doing well in space against the receivers. So you got to be smart. If it's not there, you can't take forever. He needs to use his legs and run and get as much yards as he can.
So an empty backfield. Let's see if they do rush for it. Yes. At least they're showing a 4-man rush. And a loop. Middle of the field. Morgan. Man, they wanted a flag. They won't get it. Incomplete.
Very interesting. I'm not sure if the defender turned his helmet or not in that situation. But they did go for it. I would do the same type of thing, but have somebody drag across the field. Run them out of there. Drag someone across the field.
On 2nd down. Underneath. Got a timeout. Man, a good job. Joseph Matthews. Now you've got to use one of your timeouts. 13 seconds left. You need one more of those for a long field goal try.
Right, and they can't waste much time.
Mexico State called their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
We mentioned it before. For the Aggies, their place kicker, Max Johnson, a career best. That came last year. A 49-yarder.
Well,
his only miss this season was 50 yards away, and he is working with a slight breeze at his back. Not much of wind, though, is a factor, Jay.
Right, and we talked about it earlier. If they would have went for the field goal at the end of the half,
right,
we'd be looking at a tied game right now. So it's important that they try to get as close as possible just to take a shot at it.
So the play of the game to try to get to within 3. And I'm talking about a field goal attempt.
Drag across the field. Run. He needs to run.
Man, low throw. Is it a catch? No. So now
they're going to have to go for it. You only have 7 seconds left.
Have to go to the end zone.
Have to go to the end zone.
We'll find out how far he can actually throw the football.
This is true.
It's not the NFL where they can put it up and hit 70 yards.
No. They could do the old Miami Dolphins, San Diego Chargers game where a lot of these kids weren't born to catch and pitch.
And that's what you would most likely see. And Morgan got to get out of bounds, not in time. It's over. The Lobos prevail for the third consecutive year over the Aggies in Las Cruces.
This is one of those types of games. You're looking as the head coach, Doug Martin in New Mexico State. You left a lot on the table, a couple open plays that could have resulted in touchdowns. So you have a lot to go work for. Coach Davies, on the other hand, young team, found a way to win. Finally get on the board with the win this season, but they have to get a lot of things still figured out defensively and with their quarterback situation.
So good battle, and we're going to see a lot of that over the coming years between Doug Martin's squad, the Aggies, and Bob Davies' squad, the Lobos of New Mexico. Enjoyed it. We're going to do it again.
Sounds good to me.
For Jay Taylor, I'm Joel Myers. Bob Davies and the Lobos finally have their first win of the year. Thank you for joining us in Las Cruces. Our final score once again, down to the wire it went. Lobos prevailed 38-35. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Thank you for joining us. So long, everybody, from Las Cruces, New Mexico.